Absent daily update TV so more kwaba na mission no Kesi. Credit to TV3 lawyer Marty Kpebu aiding come me yonkone kwoti tem be ye juma share jumadi no me fa comment yonkoti lawyer Marty Kpebu nkoma no wodi. God bless you.
I was not happy with, sorry, I'm going on, but let me land properly. With the removal of Charlotte Osei, okay, for many reasons. But not something which people forget. Imani, of which I'm senior vice president, has had a running fight with the EC for about 10 years now. So we had our issues there, okay? But again, you have an issue where that principle, those issues, were not necessarily the reasons why somebody was removed. Today, as we speak, we are charged, okay? I want that process to be gone through and a proper position established. Then if somebody is going to be removed, fine. But when you have a situation where politicians jump on it and ride, then you make the law an ass. And then the rich ride it and it tramples the poor. So look, I can go on, but I think the point I'm making is we all should be very sober in dealing with it because what goes around comes around.
But they talk about the lack of clarity of who she can travel with and so on. I think there's no confusion in that instance, is there? Also, who she can travel with and the amount of per diem they can take. There was really no confusion in that instance. And if there is an act that contravenes that process and what she should have done, occupying that high office of Chief Justice and being an example to the judiciary, what should have been the penal consequence?
So see, sorry to use the legal terms, but it explains. In criminal law, and this is not criminal law, but we should, we have mens rea. You had a mind to commit the crime. Okay? We should import those principles, even though it's not there. Did the Chief Justice know that I am not supposed to do this and this and this and this? And that she had a mind to steal that money and misappropriate it and proceeded to do so.
Well, the committee says she cannot claim ignorance of the process.
So that's the point I'm making. You see? So, like I'm saying, the processes were going through. But the Chief Justice was explaining that what happened was a mistake. That is a view. Yeah. You are saying she cannot claim ignorance.
No, I'm just asking. On the mistake, yes, acknowledge. Yes. On the part of who? And who should bear the burden of the mistake?
But that's the point. The point is, okay, assuming that we trust that the Chief Justice of the land was speaking the truth, and therefore she made a mistake. Question, who should have caught that mistake? Because you don't just get up and go and take money. She requisitioned it, somebody approved it, somebody paid it, and then she took it and applied it. So my question is, who should have caught that? Because there's a whole system of accounting. And I'm saying, if nobody caught it, this is what auditors are there for. And in many examples, when you find these kinds of errors and mistakes, you have a management letter, etc. It is established, and the normal thing that is done, okay, except where the person had a mens rea to steal money and she stole it, the normal thing that is done is says, hey, please, this thing was a mistake, you shouldn't have done it, the whole system failed, and that is why this money has gone. Why don't we hear Public Accounts Committee? And then you ask the person to pay back, even with penalties, all well and good. I'm saying that office should not go down on some of these things which are non-core to a judge, especially the Chief Justice.
Well, so on this, because you see, the point that, in fact, it follows on the position that the former Chief Justice took about the gravamen of the issue, how grave this is, and the fact that it is not enough to warrant the decision to remove a Chief Justice. Yes, there's a clear establishment of what Mr. Bento describes as a mistake. Who bears the burden of that? And if we were to use any other means to settle this, would it have served a good example for the judiciary in this instance? Is it a fair treatment as has been dealt the now former Chief Justice? Counsel.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fair treatment, all right? Look, let's start this way. Even before we go, 2 quick comments. I've seen a story on City News that says that Okyere says he will not contest. So I believe that with City News being quite a credible station, it means that Okyere will not contest the next election. So that's good, all right? Then number 2, so to start this one, Mr. Okansi, as we speak, and you know, earlier in the week, I did an interview on this matter. It's on YouTube, okay?
True.
When I answered so for that insight, if somebody would tell us, you say, so because we haven't seen it, and they haven't been able to punch holes yet, then we presume that it went well. You say, because we can only, because none of us has read the whole report. What we've seen so far is the testimony of Yasantua.
Baafi holds the view that they lowered the standard, really.
Oh, no, that cannot be true.
Do you agree that it can be adjudicated?
Which one?
That the decision is not final. You agree?
Oh, yeah, you can go for judicial review. Yeah. But it's clear. You see, let's look. Listen, I think sometimes we are playing too much ostrich. And it's annoying our citizens. And, you know, before we go on, look, policemen are sending me messages, ordinary citizens, that a citizen steals plantain, cocoyam, they go to jail. Somebody is taking 337,000 and then you are making it trivial. I mean, we should stop this. That's why I say, let's not mix the fact that some people are getting away with murder with the fact that when we've caught somebody, then we should let the person walk. We can't do that. This one, it's unfortunate, like we say in Chikron, so, right, and she was unfortunate and hers came out. So we deal with it. But the fact that we know ministers, look, Ekufuado's government, people were buying houses. One very loud minister, he bought 2 houses in cantonments one day. Another one, I don't know where he bought, but like 4 homes in East Legon.
You said all this you are investigating.
Yes.
Sorry, you are gathering.
Yes.
To go to court.
Yes.
I just wanted to put out.
So the point, yes, we will come to all of that. Oh, as for the minister who bought 4 houses in East Legon, it's even online. Google it, you will see.
Okay.
And there is Accra FM did the story, the minister, right, who bought 4 houses and the rest. How much is his salary? All those things, right? So we get that. But we can't say because people are getting away with millions of dollars, all right, and they've not been caught. Ipso facto, if we catch somebody with 1 Ghana cedi, then let the person walk. You know, that's not an argument to make.
Okay.
That is not an argument. So now you're coming that is lawyer Braku says that the threshold is being lowered. It is not. We've said that the policy says when you are traveling on a private visit, go with state security. Lawyer Braku, the Justice Tokono, when she went on the private visit, did she go with the state security? No. So it's simple and short. That's what we call, you are a lawyer, you know it, open and shut. Open and shut case. She didn't go with the state security. Bought tickets for her daughter, bought ticket for her husband, per diem for daughter, per diem for husband. Altogether, 337,000.
What lessons should we learn from this?
Accountability.
That is what we should
Let me give you another example.
Citizen, Daniel Ofori. The emphasis is on Daniel Ofori's petition. Remember, that's 1 of 3. Now, it follows that after considering the petition and the recommendations thereof, and the evidence, the committee found that the grounds of stated misbehavior under Article 1461 had been established and recommended her removal from office. Under Article 1469, which we will see shortly, the president is required to act in accordance with the committee's recommendation. So this is all what the president did. Acted in accordance with the committee's recommendation. The chair of this committee, this 5-member committee that was established, Justice Gabriel Scott Poamang, during the presentation of the report to the president, said a few words to respond to some media publications as well about the work of the committee. I want us to take a listen to Justice Gabriel Scott Poamang, and then we'll get into this conversation this morning. This is what he had to say. Take a look at this. and we'll hear from the chair of the committee shortly, but this is what we do know. The reason for her removal, that is stated misbehavior. This entire process commenced on the 25th of March when the announcement was made of some 3 petitions received by the presidency. In fact, it was this particular letter, this one. Very short one, straight to the point. It says, President Mahama has received 3 petitions from various persons seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. The President has forwarded the 3 petitions to the Council of State to commence the consultation process mandated by Article 146. So this was how it all began. That's at least when we got to know, the 25th of March, 2025. Then the Council of State did their work as expected. And these are the petitioners. Daniel Ofori, Shining Stars, which the former Chief Justice is contesting their legality. This is a case that is running. Ayamga Yakubu. At least what we do know, we counted some 6 suits seeking to challenge this entire removal process, which ended with the warrant issued by the president. At least 6. A number of them are still running, by the way. These are active cases, including the one at the ECOWAS court, which I'll tell you about the development on that ECOWAS court and what the now former Chief Justice is asking the court to do. These are the members of this 5-member committee that heard the petitions against the now former Chief Justice, Justice Gabriel Scott Puaman, Justice Samuel Adeboesiedu, Daniel Yademelovo, former Auditor General, Major Flora Dalugo, and Professor James Jisa, Associate Professor at the University of Ghana. Guess what? This committee, right from the day that their formation was announced until the day of the removal, which was Monday, their work spanned a 133-day period from April 22nd, the 22nd of April 2025, up until the day that this removal decision was communicated. Now, this is how long the former Chief Justice, Gertrude Araba Esabak Tokono, has been at the bench, 21 years. As to whether that question about what happens to her entitlement, because the likes of lawyer Kpebu had indicated that, look, she should have thought about resigning right from the onset to save herself of all of this. And then the former Chief Justice addressed the press conference indicating that that proposal of she resigning was not on the table because she was, amongst other things, going to lose her entitlement. So it was off. So with this removal, would this decision as well affect her entitlements after 21 years? At the bench is a conversation we'll have. Then,
of what we do tomorrow. And if we continue this race to the bottom, I told you about Idigo Montoya.
Yes.
Something happened, and that's why this is happening.
My senior here is talking about judicial reforms. That does not apply here now and now. Judicial reforms, we can talk about it another day. But now,
say the law is the law.
there's this one. So, and as for the former Chief Justice, that is an afterthought. Judges will tell you, lawyers will tell you, it's an afterthought.
Okay.
I don't think that she wasn't reasoning when she took part in the Jechum case. She was reasoning all right. These statements now are just, for me, solidarity for woman, a fellow woman, and those things. But I don't think that she actually believes in what she's saying.
Okay. Now, Bakuba, I'm going to come to you on this. But before that, you've seen these very beautifully designed bottles here. It's water that's in there. And I'll tell you about it. The UGEL Premier Fresh Natural Mineral Water is a premium product of University of Ghana. This is the University of Ghana. What you are drinking now, gentlemen, is from the University of Ghana.
Okay.
The commercial subsidiary of the university.
Right.
They produce this UGEL Premier Fresh Natural Mineral Water. That's what you see on the screen. The water is sourced from natural springs in the Akroma enclave. where they strive to maintain its most natural form. Through reverse osmosis purification technology, we preserve essential natural minerals while ensuring the water remains perfectly safe, healthy for drinking. With this crisp, refreshing taste, UGEL Premier Fresh leaves a lasting impression, pure hydration that you don't just drink, but you experience. For this, in fact, call them on these numbers. Tell them that you heard me talk about it on Key Point, and they'll give you a good package. 056 181 4444. That is 056 181 4444 and 055 506 0150. 055 506 0150. UGEL Premier Fresh Mineral Water. Purity.
Explanation of those laws to make it clear. I've talked about 296 because the president who is applying this is not a judge, and so some of these things they must set those things out. It will help us become a stronger nation. What we are having now is a crude weapon, which is not what the framers intended.
Okay.
And where there's a premeditation, it can be used. So if we're going to establish this going forward, then let us all know that if this happens, then please, you are going out.
Okay.
Because this is what we have applied to ourselves.
Kpebu, the committee's work cannot be described as not having done a thorough one, because we're dealing with over 10,000 plus documentary evidence. Yeah. That's what the committee report, in summary, stated. That's some thorough job done, isn't it?
Presumably, yeah, we can presume because so far the Justice Tokonu and her lawyers have not been able to show us what went wrong, because we could only have better